This one needs 32. And that's all of the destroyers, because it's precise. So we have no destroyers for a convoy. That's fine. Wow, that motorized is getting destroyed. The Soviet Union annexes Tannu Tuva. In a press release earlier today, Moscow announced the formal annexation of Tannu Tuva. The Supreme Soviet agreed on a request from the Tuvan Parliament for membership in the USSR. The small Tuvan People's Republic, which has only been officially recognized by the Soviet Union and Mongolia, will be organized into an autonomous thingy. Meanwhile, Manchuria is dying. Massive fights going on along here. But yeah, Japan, the Soviets are going to be in a long brawl. Germany might well go after their... Oh no, they're naval rearming. Which is the one that's going to lead to either the pro-Britain or the anti-Britain. That's going to be the interesting one. If they go anti-Britain, I might just go after Britain myself. If they go pro-Britain, then it's going to be a later thing. The German Empire claims Memel. With German forces on the border poised to attack, Lithuania has given in to the German ultimatum demanding the surrender of the old Prussian territory of Memel. It was passed to Lithuania by the Treaty of Versailles, but has now been reintegrated into the region of Ostpreußen. Have we yet reached the extent of German territorial ambitions in Europe? Experts are doubtful. Nah, I'm sure the Kaiser's fine. No problem. And soon, Tassany is going to actually arrive. Ooh, that's another thing I can do. I can do some naming. Where's my patron list? There it is. Alright, so this is going to be Bjorn Var. Field Marshal. Army 1 is going to be Milatis. The armor is going to be Nimanda. And then the Alpines are going to be Mustani. Cool. Onwards. Counter-attack time. Now it's going slightly better. How do I choose between the patrons and the subs? Obviously the patrons are priority, I was just curious. It's just random. It's whatever I feel like at the time. Ordinarily patrons will get priority, so if it's like an individual unit, then it'll be a sub. If it's something which like appears a lot on the map, I'll try to make it a patron. Like, RimWorld characters will generally be patrons first, then subs. And in this, like, what I still need to do, and this is entirely on me, I haven't done it, I want to create another mod which will automatically name units after patrons, after subs. So then the armies will be the patrons and the units will be subs. I've just not gotten around to doing it because it is a bit of a pain. It's not as easy to create automatic naming lists like in, say, Stellaris. Because you've then got to worry about like locking it to certain tags, otherwise the AI starts using them. It's just not the same.
Continue d'avancer.
I'm just going to move a man in there, but now I'm not going to have the chance. Oh, no, I can do it here. Come on! Hurry up! Oh no, it's still available. Look at that. And this will be a nice little cut-off, actually. Boom. Lovely jubbly. Alright, Namanda, you go and attack that. Olatis, you attack that. Go and go. Hey, Losman. Right, the other thing we do need to now do is I am... Wait, why are these no garrison? Whoops, they're supposed to be on civilian oversight. Except I want to manually... Damn it, their orders have changed, that's why. I thought the icon changed if I'd manually set it. Apparently not. And there is a rhyme behind the madness. It's because I want these to just be automatic. Sorry, not automatic. I want these to be manual so that I can set the automatic one to automatically put martial law on anything I conquer. Bloody hell, there's a lot of them. Ugh! I thought the yellow line changed on whether it was automatic or if it was manually done. Well, I guess the easy way of doing it would be to set this to martial law to say no to that. And there we go. Now we can see everyone that's martial law. Because I want all of you to keep on improving your compliance. And then we're going to turn this off. And this just shows the places with resistance. And Belgium has not yet appeared on this list. Yes, it has. You are definitely default. As is that. But that's not conquered yet, so not much I can do about it. We may well need to use some of our colonial troops to go and conquer that, but we can worry about that once Belgium proper has fallen. And yeah, I know I put Belgium on civilian. I was going to go back and fix it when I wasn't just clicking en masse. Right, we have some more military factories. We have a fighter being produced. I think we need to continue getting more guns. Yes, definitely. Taking that. Good stuff. Liège is about to fall. These guys are about to fall. And now we just pack in a bunch of troops over here. I mean, they've actually done quite an impressive job of building up their garrison. I mean, they have a lot of troops. Like, I've already killed a bunch. And they still have about 22 divisions. There's the artillery upgrade. Let's go start producing some of those. And then... let's get the AA upgrade, just so we can keep ship AA upgraded. Thinking here in the future of when we go after Britain. Also, now that we're actually upgrading submarines, I'm going to set you to make one more convoy. And then we're going to switch everything to the submarine refits. Is it worth upgrading occupying forces, the MPs and armoured cars? Yes, 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 a million times yes, and thank you very much for the reminder. Because I needed to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the occupied territories situation. We are going to take a look at... Well, we're going to set the default to being armoured police. And then we are going to set basically everyone except for Belgium to police. Oops. So the places which are actively being fought against armoured police until their resistance is contained, and then they can be switched over to the police force, which is quite a lot cheaper. More manpower intensive, but a lot cheaper. And if there isn't resistance, they're not being shot, they don't lose the manpower. So it's just Belgium, which is going to be martial law and fightiness. Although their resistance is going up. Why? What? Oh, it's because we're lacking garrisons. Yeah, we're going to be investing a lot of resources. Oh, no. You know why? You know why? Garrisons need to be max priority. This is why. Once that need is fulfilled, we'll be okay. Am I going to let Germany have their African colonies when they ask, since I'm taking the Congo? No. So do garrisons work differently now? Yeah. I would say the garrisons is probably the biggest actual change in the game. You need to worry more about resistance, because resistance really sodding hurts when you get it wrong. Brussels is about to fall, and this should just capitulate. And because they are not in a faction, we'll get the whole thing. There it is. And we got a bunch of guns, which is going to help our garrison situation. So basically, Belgium is just garrisoning themselves. Napoleon VI has announced the cowardly Belgian nation could no longer withstand the pressure from overwhelming presence of French forces throughout the country. The Belgian government chose to flee the country and has gone into exile. The main forces have capitulated, and the Belgian Empire has now controlled the home area. Though the war continues elsewhere, this is a great victory for the French Empire. Good news, everyone. So, I think I'm just going to annex the whole thing. Because if I'm also going to be annexing the Netherlands... I mean, this is basically just being added to the French Empire down here, so I think we're okay doing this. I know I was talking about restoring Flanders, but nah, this is legitimate French turf. We took 17 states and 18,000 equipment, which immediately goes into the garrison numbers, which will help us occupy. And then the territories that we just took, Belgium and the Congo, are automatically going to be assigned to the armoured police, which will be fighting against the uprising peoples. And now the war is over, garrison should start rebuilding, we have plenty of manpower, resistance should start to fall quickly. Good. Right, Netherlands, what are you doing? You're expanding the Curaçao oil refineries, please don't. You're losing a little bit of progress. Sorry. Midnight tonight, they should go for Oranje Bolven. Alright, good. So I will take a look at the resistance there in a minute. Unfortunately, we're still too low war support to go up again.
Pareil.
Let's have you lot facing the Dutch.
Paré.
You lot can go back to Maginot.
Paré. Gardez vos rangs.
Just in case Germany decides to try something. Okay, good. And we're going to need to do a bunch of repairs, which frankly we can blitz through very quickly. Brutus, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. And Aussie Mill, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So let's take a look. Still trending up. Why? To 10. Alright, well clearly martial law is not brutal enough. Well, it should be, because it's the maximum I can do. Why are you trending upwards? Oh, it's just because compliance is not good enough. Compliance will rise over time. And as far as I know, there's no way of seeing what the compliance target is, which is a bit annoying. Okay, resistance everywhere else is now somewhat dropping. And you lot are pissed by the fact that we don't have enough garrison yet, so that need is still being fulfilled. It's probably a support equipment shortage. Yeah, okay, the shortages are super low. We'll give it a couple of days, then we'll revisit. Compliance just goes up, 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 and up. Okay. Been looking for ages, figured I'd better just hit the follow button so I don't have to keep searching. Fair enough, Brutus. Spain's rightful monarchy is indeed French, yes. Unfortunately, we don't get a focus against Spain, though. Which is a little bit disappointing. Germany's still doing the naval effort. Are you doing Oranje Bolven? Nope, you are still expanding Curacao. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. Because that's adding even more oil for when I inevitably take you over, so... Yay! And while the Portuguese Civil War is ongoing, the Loyalist Constitutionalist Civil War is starting to consolidate, although the Constitutionalists here in the north have lost Boston, which was their capital. Oops. And also their main source of supply, because it's a port. World tension is not high enough for me just to justify on Spain, which is I think what I'm going to have to do. Or I could set myself a rule, which is I'm not going to be allowed to justify on anyone until I've actually taken everything from the focuses. Could also go after Germany. Huzzah! Still a bit early for that one, though. Speaking of which, you can go fighting resistance here. That helps. Yeah, that helps a lot. Okay. Sindrin, gifting a sub to Brutus. Thank you very much for that, Sindrin. Very generous of you. Brutus, welcome to the Maudlings. So far, I hated playing as France. No matter what I did, the Communist Revolution happened or my army would get deleted. What do I think of it? That's because your stability was too low, or 2, you went to war without getting rid of disjointed government. You have got to get rid of disjointed government if you're going to get into a fight. And there are quite a few ways of doing it. But yeah, if your stability is below 50%, you're in danger. Let's develop the colonies now. Our industrial heartlands in Europe don't have the population and the resources to sustain a large industrial expansion. If our economy is to be competitive with the rest of the world, we must utilize our colonies. Oh, this also boosts the compliance of the entire colonial world, so yeah, that's going to be useful. May 39. Already being researched. Better military police. Military police are now definitely a priority. Oh yeah, did we get rid of victors? We didn't get rid of victors! So it's not just being in a war. Maybe it was because I had the Civil War? That's possible. I'm not sure. Weird. Which means I do actually look for your stream and I want to see some quality strategy. I know how my initial... No, I got what you meant, Brutus. It's all good. If you get rid of the disjointed government, the communist revolution still happens. I even cheated through the focus tree and it still happens. In that case, it's because his stability was below 50. Because I've not had the communist civil war. Yeah, it is also a specific focus, but in my Free France game it just disappeared. I'm guessing it's because of the Civil War. Or it's because of the intervention in Spain. Like, there's a whole bunch of, or the fall of France. There's a whole bunch of different reasons it could have happened, but none of them were done by me. Didn't actually get any more dockyards. Oh. Right, this isn't going to be a core. And so far as I know, there's no way of coring it, though getting compliance up will help. Yeah, because right now we're getting none of the local factories because compliance is so low. As compliance goes up, you get more and more of them. So at 75% compliance, you get half of the factories. Which I think is more than the old core, no core system used to work. The floor... Well, oh, Vladivostok. I was like, wow! Vladivostok fell to the Germans? No, it fell to the Japanese. That's a little bit less impressive. Vladivostok, the largest city of the Russian Far East and home of the Soviet Pacific Fleet, has been stormed by Japanese troops. Its strategic position at the far end of the Trans-Siberian Railway makes its losses all the more detrimental to the Soviet war effort in Asia. Many of the city's inhabitants remember the Japanese occupation that lasted for several years during the Russian Civil War. This time, some fear they may never leave. Something that's been bothering me this playthrough, and I just realised what it is. Napoleon VI doesn't have a glorious beard or a uniform. Can such a man in a suit really be considered the leader of the entirety of Europe? I thought that as well. He looks like generic French person number 3. Canada seeks immediate patriation. After breakdown in negotiations with Westminster and an unprecedented 63-hour debate, the Canadian Parliament has overturned the British North America Act, instead enshrining the Canadian Constitution in laws untouchable by the British Parliament or monarchy. Although not an anti-British move in its own right, it signals a move away from the Commonwealth policies of the old empire. While a natural step to take for any country wanting to ensure their future stability, it does nothing to alleviate the already tense state of global politics. An empire coming apart at the seams. And we will definitely need to restore the Quebecois rule in Canada. That's 100% one of our objectives. Oh, no, that's interesting. I can make resistance contacts in the Netherlands. Which I'm guessing would be... No. The East Indies aren't colonies. Oh, it might be Curacao. Nah. For trade civilian administration, we could get some naval technology from them. Does this require 1 or 2 people? It requires 2. It's a bit of a pain. Right. I should probably start thinking about doing some of these. Let's do Invisible Ink, because I really like that one. We should also open up a couple of the departments. So maybe Invisible Ink and 4 departments. Or we could do the resistance reduction, though I don't really want to use my spies as resistance reduction like full time. Let's get some more improved worker conditions for the extra stability. We could also do the press censorship. In fact, we want to do anti-democratic raids, which will also boost stability. Oh, interesting. For how long? How much do we get? 0.7. 120 days. What's that in weeks? $17. So we actually gained 7 stability for this. I'll do it. It's quite a cheap one too. We could ban fascism. Oh no, that loses stability. Don't do that. Why not leave the naval treaty? No real reason for us to do it just yet. Alright, so resistance of those two is what it's going to be. Resistance elsewhere is dropping like a rock. Cap to -23. Yeah, we're going to have really good compliance throughout the Empire. Excellent. Maybe we can go to no garrison. Though it doesn't have a compliance difference. No, civilian oversight. It's definitely the lowest we want to go. And Congo. You're going down to a -23, so I'm going to say the Congo can go to civilian oversight with police, which they already are. And the Central African Republic can also do so. Much cheaper. Much better. Okay, so it is only Belgium that needs to be under martial law for the time being. Until they start behaving. The actual Napoleon VI actually had a seriously remarkable World War II. He wasn't allowed into France, so he joined the Foreign Legion under an assumed name, then fought in the war anyway, joined the resistance when France surrendered, got captured, escaped, joined up with the Free French Army at D-Day came, and was in Germany when the war ended, at which point somebody identified him and he was separated from his unit and deported to Switzerland. Wow. Did Germany do the focus to bring Italy under its wing? No. Germany and Italy actually don't like each other. Focus on the true enemy. Hold on, hold on, hold on. They've gone anti-Britain, haven't they? Yes, they have. Germany's going to be rebuilding the High Seas Fleet. Interesting. So we're going to have a three-way colonial war, basically. France versus Britain versus Germany versus Spain versus Portugal versus Italy. Excellent. Monarchist utopia. Just like the good old days. It's what we wanted to see.